Hello guys and welcome to ThatSrb2DUDE here today, bring you yet another Splatoon 2 video, which is going to be a Dr. Dude episode. Now, this episode is going to be a little bit contradictory, considering I said something in my last Dr. Dude episode saying I'm not exactly going to be commenting on many people's, mechanical skill or how they play, slash how fast they play, which is what I mean. And why I said this, because of course it's not really the main point. Of course everyone's mechanical skill is all different and all that. But honestly, in this current submission that is sent in by Mediocre Splatoon 2, hope I said that right, honestly, because sometimes I get words wrong. But this is honestly the main issue, and I think it's actually a really important thing so that some of you guys can actually learn to see the difference from an A- player compared to like an X rank player and all that type of stuff. And it is very, very apparent because there's a lot of times during this game where awareness is just not there. The speed of how this person may actually try to secure a kill is just very, very slow. The general reaction of just turning around and actually, I guess the general positioning is all just very, very slow. It's very apparent in this first situation. I mean, the first situation, honestly, pretty fine. Saw the Rainmaker was about to pop in the ink, so initial reaction was to back up. Now, I'm going to comment, it was a little bit slow of how they did back up, but, at least they did it, and that's pretty much, how you want to go about stuff like this. This is the type of thing that you'd see in X rank, but of course, it's usually done a little bit faster. Now, another thing that you're probably going to notice a lot in an A- players, I guess gameplay is that they tend to tunnel vision quite a bit, and we're going to notice this quite a bit during this gameplay as we're going into this first kill. Now we do see the person, it's a 52 gal, and we're above them, and obviously we can just walk up and maybe roll to them, but instead this person actually just walks up instead of actually doing the dodge roll mechanic. Now obviously this is something that is going to be mechanical skill, and it's going to take a little bit of practice to really learn. And I mean, of course, this submission being, I guess, coming out of 2 months, maybe maybe Mediocre Splatoon has already learned how to do this, but it is definitely a thing where, I guess, in a lower rank situation, you're probably not going to find many people dodge rolling. And as you can see, we go into the situation, we just walk up. I mean, it's not the worst kill or anything like that, but the speed of which it was done is generally slower. Now, this is one fault though, as they have got that kill. If we were to rewind just a little bit, we would have noticed that there was a player on the top left area, or slash the plat area for Anchovy games on the enemy side of the map. Now, why this is a very important thing, because I'm just generally saying in X rank, that player would probably quickly go to you knowing that you just got yourself out of position, and you probably would have died to that player. I mean, instead you died to the Rainmaker because you got pincered and you also turned your back on them. But that's the thing though. You shouldn't turn your back to people if you know that they're there. And honestly, when watching this gameplay, I honestly don't think you knew that person was there. So very important thing to make sure that you do spot your opponents and actually taking them into account, because I'm pretty sure if you had knew that player was there, you probably wouldn't have engaged with that 52 gal, because honestly, you would have put yourself in a lower ground situation. And honestly, if the player, had pretty decent accuracy, they probably would have just slayed you out just really quickly like that. Now, we're going to fast forward to one Mediocre is actually in the middle of the map. They do have Baller, and it's just the response of noticing that their player is also Stingray. Now, the thing that this person actually doesn't do is just go straight onto their platform and just Baller, knowing that there's a Stingray already pressuring these players that are on their platform. It's just things like that it needs to just be faster. Like, if you notice that, hey, there's somebody, already pressuring these players, be quick about it and actually just baller in and try and slay them out. At this point, we spend a couple seconds just chilling in the middle of the map, but then eventually Mediocre Splatoon actually does go to the left side and actually uses that baller. And of course, from that, they actually get 2 kills from it, which, could have happened much faster, and it possibly could have been a triple kill there, knowing the Stingray was also there to pressure the opponents. But again, even if we're on this situation right here, it is just very, very slow. It's not it doesn't look like we're really aiming at anyone, and we don't spot quick enough the center missiles that actually do go towards us. From this point, you could have used the dodge roll to actually dodge from that situation, which is something that a lot of dually players in X rank actually do. So I guess that's one thing I can teach you, is just to, if you are using the dualies, try to utilize that dually mechanic as much as you can. Usually use it for dodging your opponents or to quickly engage them. So I'm going to fast forward into another situation here where the enemy team are also pushing the Rainmaker again. Now, it's just, again, mechanical skill. The Rainmaker walks past. Luckily, you actually do take them out at the 41 mark. But another thing is that you don't even notice the jump that was also there. So it's the thing where you could have just popped the Rainmaker and then go straight for the jump that was also on your top right. So definitely spotting those things out is also really important. Now we're going to fast forward a little bit. We're going to go for a baller push and get, you know, some control onto the platform. Nothing bad about that, but it's just the general spotting again, where of course someone falls through your screen. I mean, I don't know if you noticed that, but it should be a thing where you probably should have backed up and you tunnel visioned onto the person that was also going to the Rainmaker while you also have someone chasing you. So, you know, general things like that, of course, comes over time, but you know, it definitely needs to be worked on. And we're gonna fast forward into the last situation here. So we notice that somebody is actually, you know, comes behind us, and actually there's gonna be two guys. Luckily, you do kill the 52 guy. Well, not really luckily, you actually just killed him, but this situation when you do notice someone, you don't even dodge roll towards them. It's the ink brush and could have been killed so much faster. Or actually, no, it didn't even kill him. It could have just been killed if he had dodge rolled into that and actually aimed at the ink brush to actually secure that. So honestly, I kind of had to repeat myself quite a lot because generally the same situation is just happening. And honestly, to conclude, one thing I just want to say is that I am not trying to be rude or trying to bring you down as a player, because I don't know how long you've had Splatoon and you're probably just getting started with all those types of things, and you know, you're just going to have to learn, you know, to be faster and stuff like that. Like, honestly, it's something that may take a little bit of time. You know, of course, we all start somewhere. So generally, just to say, the problems that you really need some work on is your speed. Your speed definitely needs a lot more work. Your spotting needs a lot more work. Spotting is basically when you notice or see a player and you make sure to take them into account of this current situation you're going in. Another thing that you really need to make sure you don't do is tunnel visioning, because it's something that you do where you kind of spot a player and you can continuously walk up to them because you feel like you can kill them, or it's because you're only focused on them and you basically, you know, take off a lot of focus for other things that are also in the game. So just general things like that. If it's a thing where you're trying to learn dually as well, is try to make sure that you utilize that dually roll, because it's one of the most strongest things about the dualies and separates them about other weapons. I mean, if you don't do that, you might as well just use a Tentatek Spider Shot. If it's a thing that you want to get better with the dualies though, like I would recommend one of my videos right here. Basically, you know, it's just me using the dualies and what you can kind of expect to see a dually in X rank. I mean, I don't know if it's a thing that you've watched the video before, but it's definitely a really good insight of how to play a dualies pretty optimally. Of course, lastly, you know, aim, that will come with time. Like, I don't know how long you've been playing this game, but aim, it could be a thing where your sensitivity is not the most comfortable, maybe, so it could be a thing that you might want to try and experiment to see if you have, like, I guess, if you could have a possibly more comfortable sensitivity that's just quicker, and you know, or a sensitivity that you just feel more in tune with, because I don't know if it's a thing where you struggle with it, but you know, definitely feel free to experiment. But other than that, that's all I gotta really say about this submission, guys. I hope you don't hate me, mediocre Splatoon, because I just, you know, really, I do want you to get better and stuff like that. And I feel like if you just work on those things, I mean, of course, it's been 2 months, but if you do work on those things, or anybody that is in the A- rank and is also, I guess, a dually player and probably has, I guess, the same sort of gameplay like this, and hopefully you can learn off this advice and actually, you know, use this to actually push yourself to play better and make sure to take those things that I said into account. So, with all that being said, I hope you guys actually enjoyed this video. Please, if you did, please like, favorite, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Follow me on Twitter and Twitch, both in the description below. Do it for both of you for free and generous. Make sure to hit the bell notification button to let you guys know when I'm streaming or whenever I do upload a video. And with all that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I shall see you guys in a future one.